Hey there guys, today we've got another knife disassembly. This is the Spyderco Tenacious. I did a review on this a while back, not a while, a little while, and it kind of squeaks when you open and close it. So I'm hoping that if we tear it apart here, we can fix that. So let's just see if we can pull it apart real quick, and hopefully it doesn't take too terribly long here. A lot of the guys seem to like the disassembly videos, so we'll see what we can do here to get that torn apart and put back together real quick and see if that helps with the squeakiness, which I'm hoping it does, because it's a little annoying. Now granted, it's a $55 knife or so, so you kind of get what you get, but at the same point, don't really want it making too much noise here, do we? So we'll see what how this pops apart here. Because, live TV, guys, remember? So I did upgrade my drivers. So I got with some iFixit aluminum handled drivers, as well as some new, maybe I gotta take the pocket clip off, maybe? Don't think so. But let's just see how big these screws are. No, that's not going to go all the way through. That's just tiny. And then I got a new set of Weeha, I guess is how you pronounce it, bits. So hopefully, I should have brought a screwdriver here to pry these apart, not the bits, but hey, what are you going to do? So, it's on its way here. And it did drop out the stop pin, so we don't want to lose that when we get it all put back together. Here we go. So what's interesting here is it's got multiple washers on each side. It's got some grease and stuff in here, and I actually forgot to grab the oil to put it back together. Let me just grab this real quick over here, and we'll get this all cleaned up and put back together here real quick. So, but yeah, it's got some like a heavy grease in here, so it's not dry like I was anticipating, that it maybe just came dry. That's not the case. Not the case at all, but okay. We'll get some oil in there instead. Pop the pivot out. And it's got 2 washers per side. So I know that everybody complains about Greg Medford because he uses more than 1 washer, and sometimes there's 2 on each side, sometimes there's 3 on each side I've seen or I've heard stories about. So it's not only Greg that does more than 1 washer. The rest of this looks pretty clean. Again, this is like a brand new knife that I just brought in to the channel not too long ago. It's really sharp, so we want to make sure that I watch out for that blade. And I'm going to be doing a new series here, kind of ramble for a minute while I clean this blade off, on how to pick EDC, how to pick what you carry. And so I'd like your thoughts about that. Another viewer kind of gave me an idea as to, hey, let's do a series or 1 or 2 videos on how do you pick what you're going to carry. Cleaning off the stop pin over here off the camera. And so I thought, that's a great idea, and I'm kind of just kicking it around now on how best to couch that topic. Go by, I'm thinking pick a dollar amount for either the whole thing, your total EDC could be X dollars, or say, hey, you can, X dollars for a light, X dollars for a knife, X dollars for a watch. I think that really kind of sums up the EDC, But you guys tell me. I'm just kind of wiping off all these washers here so we can get all that gunk and grease out. And then we're just going to use some of Peter Viceroy's oil that I got for for this, and put it back together and adjust the pivot and make sure we're good to go. So hopefully I can get this back together a little bit easier than it came apart, just so this video doesn't drag on and on like my last one that seemed to kind of drain on as I was trying to put the Praetorian TIG back together. It was not the most easiest, straightforward video to do on my last review there. So there you go. It's pretty straightforward. The pivot is keyed, it looks like here, and that's what keeps it from rotating around. It's not keyed on this show side, but it is keyed on the lock side. So let me clean that out real quick in here too. So there is a D, it's kind of a D-shaped. You can see here, it's not perfectly round, and there is a corresponding, see if we can show you that on the pivot. It's got a flat mark there. Let me pull it out. I'll be able to see it better. So we want to make sure that that is lined up with the top or the bottom, it looks like now. So when we put it together, we'll have to kind of shimmy it a little bit to make sure it's right. So put a little bit of oil here. A little drop over there, and one over here. And we'll put the first washer down. Oops. And these are phosphor bronze washers. Another little drop in between the washers. So yeah, about the EDC, picking of the EDC, let me know what your guys' comments are, what your thoughts might be on that type of a topic. I want to put something together here and, not necessarily review a specific something, but kind of just talk about what is out there and how to choose and pick what it is that you might want to carry. So give that some thought here over the next little bit and come up with something for you guys. Put a little bit in the detent track. Get this guy down. Stick him down a little bit. Another drop or two of oil to make sure we're good. I'm going to clean it off just a little bit that dripped down on this side. Just don't want to get too gunk there on the lock face. And then another little drop here as we put the top back together. Spin it around a little bit just to get it kind of pre-lubed there. Okay, and then put the cap on that so I don't make a mess. Get the stop pin in here and hopefully lined up. Might be a little tricky. I think that's going to be the tricky one to get lined back up when I put the other scale back on. But we'll see. So I think we got to kind of put this on a little bit of angle to line up that D and move this all around into place. And it didn't quite line up, nor did the stop pin. All right, see, we're kind of getting into uncharted territory here, getting it lined up. I think the pivot's going to be my harder point piece to line up. So I think the stop pin just went in, which is good. But the pivot is not lined up. So pull it out a little bit. Try to rotate it around. Kind of figured that was going to be a bit of an issue. I don't know why it's not, the D ring is not on the bottom side to just lock it in as you put it together. You know what I mean? It's where I would have put it. But, you know, again, I'm not a knife guy. I mean, I'm a knife guy, but I am not a knife maker, so I don't know why they do what they do. So now let's try to line it up from this side so I can at least see where it's trying to line up, which is right about at the bottom. Let me wipe off some of this because that's a little bit excessive there, I think. And we're going to see how that works. Let's see if I can get this to line up, which it should just drop in based on where I think things are lined up, and I think it did that time. Maybe. Now, let's just throw this in and see if we can get it to line up by using the right driver. That would probably help. There you go. I think it kind of rotated itself to line up. Not sure if that stop pin is in there correct or not. Yep, I think we're all lined up. So let's get a couple more of these screws in, and I'll Loctite it at the very end after I get it all adjusted and whatnot. That's just kind of the way I tend to kind of do it. I know the pivot is too tight right now, but let's just get it adjusted, and then I can kind of show you how I do the pivot, how we get that kind of aligned, or how we get the right tension on it. So these ones in the back are usually just going to be, you know, pretty tight. So it's super tight, it doesn't even open. So you want to loosen the pivot up. So it's just kind of snug-ish. Not a sound in the world. So we check for blade play by pushing it back and forth. And there is a little bit of blade play, so we just tighten it ever so slightly. Check the blade centering, which is hard to tell in the light here, but it looks pretty good. It's a little bit of blade play. So tighten it up just barely, like you don't even think you moved it. And that's, you know, you want to push it so you think you didn't even move it, and that's enough. You want it tight enough where it's not going to move, but loose enough where it will open and close easy. And I will adjust that again a little bit more once I put the Loctite on it. But that's way, way better. So let me just pull this out. I got the Loctite right here. We've already gone 14, almost 15 minutes. What's another minute or so to just throw some Loctite on it real quick and call it done, right? Because the pivot is the one you don't want it to really come loose on. So you throw a little bit of Loctite on there, and that's a little bit too much, but that will work. Throw the guy in there. Tight, loosen it up, little snug. No blade play. I want it just a tiny bit looser. I think that's pretty good. Give it just a hair tighter, just because the action on this is not super bearing smooth anyway, but it does flick out. Yeah, I'm gonna call that good. So thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for the next one. I think I got a watch video coming up next, maybe. So I kind of bounce in between watches and knives. You know the deal. And thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day, and I will see you on the next one.